Hello guys, I heard a message today, powerful message about fear. Here's how it goes. I'm gonna do my best to explain it. Okay, so human nature, it is natural to have a fear response. When we stand on a cliff and we look over and there's a 100-foot drop in front of us, we have a fear response. Something tells us get the fuck away from that cliff's edge. Okay, when we see a snake and it's rattling, something tells us to back up. Danger. All right, but this fear response, you've probably heard fight or flight kind of going off even when we're dealing with people. And that's one reason that we have anxiety. So this fear response has kind of transferred and made its way into our modern day living, right? This once where we needed this to survive, to grow as a race, it's kind of making its way into places where we don't really need it. Now, a huge thing for young guys I've noticed for myself is that I tend to get very worried and afraid, fearful of things throughout the day, such as approaching women, such as saying public speaking, giving a speech, reading out loud was one of the toughest things for me in high school, guys. I would come late to class because I was so terrified to read out loud. I once yelled at my teacher because he made me read a sentence and I was so angry. I was like, I'm just not gonna do it. And he was like, whoa, calm down, buddy. This fear makes its way in and it makes us feel terrible. It makes us stall. We don't continue moving forward. We do not progress. Sometimes we regress back into this little shell. We feel so inadequate when we do this. So how do we master this fear? Now, this message labeled fear with these small things, and this is what I want to share with you guys. Let's take a plank of wood, okay? Maybe a foot, or let's 2 feet wide, okay? And we lay it down, it's 12 feet long, and I ask you, would you walk across this plank of wood? Well, of course you would, no problem, you walk. What if it was right here? Maybe it was 5 feet up, okay? It's a little fall, but you can handle that. Imagine if it was 200 feet up. There's no wind, you don't gotta worry about the wind, but it's 200 feet up, how many of you would still walk it? You see, that same thing, the animal instinct, the fear response to everyday life, the fear of rejection, the fear of being judged, of being vulnerable in front of people. It feels like the result is going to be so severe. But when in reality, the board that we're walking, the plank that we're walking on is really right on the ground. Maybe it's a foot high, maybe it's 5 feet high. But how often, guys, are we dealt and put in situations that it's a near death? Okay, if we walk that, then we're in the face of death. Not very often, I know that. So I want to look at fear more like this throughout the day of what do I have to lose by putting myself out there, by being vulnerable. Kind of like the talk we had yesterday about you are not inadequate. But realizing once you get this self-image of yourself, then you just kind of let go. It makes that process so much easier. The fear response is, you know, I realize I might get embarrassed, that I might experience some shame, or I might get rejected by this girl in the store or at wherever I'm talking to a girl, or they might laugh at me when I'm on stage. But I like myself anyways. And I'm gonna keep walking this plank. It's easy, I'm gonna keep walking this plank because that's how I progress and move forward. I'm not dealing with death here.